Hey, Buff Nation, voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson here. Coming up this week in the Buffalo Stampede, talking a lot of basketball. The Buffs coming off a sweep at the hands of the LA schools. We're talking to men's basketball player Lawson Lovering. On the women's side, they're rolling right now, getting ready for the Pac-12 Conference Tournament. Sophomore Aaron Vonleh joins us ahead of their trip to Vegas. And the lacrosse season is underway. We're going to talk with the head coach and Elliot Whitten, and we're going to introduce you to the new offensive coordinator for Coach Prime's football team, that being Sean Lewis. All this week on the Buffalo Stampede.
Shot blocked though by Q. Holy cow, what a play. Hammond throws it up court. KJ touches off. Lovering down the lane. Throw it down, big man. Throw it down.
Wow, that's an exciting play right there.
55-47. For the ball fake, drives his way down the paint. Bounces off. Lovering for the two-hand slam. Oh, the drive, the draw, and the dish. And Lovering.
And there's a couple of big dunks by the big man. Lawson Lovering as Colorado gets swept by the LA schools, losing on Thursday to USC, UCLA on Sunday. Back at the Buffalo Stampede, voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson, a big fella out of Cheyenne, Wyoming, joining us. Tough weekend.
Right.
How do you come away from this weekend thinking about this team?
I think we started the weekend. USC, we didn't have any fight whatsoever. Frankly, we got our butts kicked. So. But the end of the weekend, we really fought against UCLA, even though we didn't get the outcome that we thought we should. I like the fight that I saw tonight.
You know, that USC game, help people understand a little bit. You know, I think fans, one thing they always ask about is, you know, how does a team come out flat like that? When you get asked that question, what do you say to them? How does a team come out and just not quite seem to have that edge?
I think it just starts probably an hour before the game starts. You know, the energy in the locker room before the game, and the warm-ups. I mean, it doesn't happen right when the whistle starts. I think it starts a couple of hours beyond that. And against USC, we just didn't have that energy going into the game, and it showed.
Can you feel that early in the game, where those teams got that, whatever you want to call it, that edge, that fight?
Yeah, first couple possessions, you can see it. And also, you can definitely see it in the warm-ups. You know, if guys are up and energetic and throwing down big dunks, or if guys are really yelling in the locker room before the game, it's pretty obvious when we don't have energy, and when we do have energy. It's just a matter of, can we have that all the time?
What have you learned about playing at this level? You know, last year your season got shortened with the injury, so Tad had said that kind of stunted your development a little bit. What have you learned about playing at this level here in your sophomore campaign?
Consistency is king, and I think this season has been very inconsistent. And I'm just realizing that the teams like UCLA, the best teams in the country, are very consistent day in and day out, and consistency with their energy is a big one. So,
what do you think when you look to your off season? What do you think this is kind of my game plan to work on for my junior year?
I think it's just refining some skills, like my free throws and my outside shooting, my finishing, and my post game.
Okay.
Of course, getting in the weight room, getting stronger, getting faster. Just refining some things, and then maybe adding a little bit to the arsenal on the offensive end.
Yeah. You and Steve are going to be best friends in the offseason.
Yes, I guess so.
The Buffaloes end up falling on Thursday to USC, and then UCLA, the fourth-ranked team, on Sunday after the UCLA game. We heard from head coach Tad Boyle.
Presented by Coors Light. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment made to chill. Celebrate responsibly.
Losing's losing, and the feeling is the same in your stomach, and just your disgust and frustration and anger, whatever you want to call it. The litany of emotions. But there's a different feeling today after the loss than after Thursday night's loss, and. Something I talked to the players about in the locker room is that the reason that they're, I think, down and disappointed tonight is because they fought their tails off and they competed their tails off and they came up short. And that's supposed to hurt. It's supposed to have that pit in your stomach. It's supposed to feel empty. If it doesn't, there's something wrong with you, as a player or as a coach, quite frankly. But our guys fought tonight. And the feeling in that locker room on Thursday night was one more of disgust, disappointment, regret. We competed tonight. We competed against a really good team, and guys kept fighting and just didn't make enough plays down the stretch.
There's head coach of the Buffaloes after the Buffs fall to number 4 UCLA by 4, 60-56 on a Sunday afternoon. We continue with Lawson Lovering. Now this game, we talked about the USC game. This UCLA game was totally different, as you kind of indicated. I mean, you guys were in there fighting with one of the best teams in America. That's the way this team wants to play every game, right?
Right. I mean, Coach said that in the locker room. He said, I mean, at least we fought.
Yeah.
You know, even though we lost, at least we fought, because the USC game was, that was pathetic. So, yeah, we fought.
You're battling. One thing you're learning, I asked about learning about playing at this level. It seems like every week you're battling against big monsters out there.
Right.
And you're getting very physical. Was this as physical a game that you played in all season long?
Honestly, yeah. It was very, very physical. Not many fouls were being called tonight. Kind of worked in my favor though, so I didn't stay in foul trouble. But it was very physical. But I kind of enjoyed it.
So Utah's your last game. You got one game here in the regular season. Give us a thought about playing the Utes for the second time. And I know you want to finish up strong and seed your day and all those kind of things.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to it. I think the guys are ready to go to that tournament and see what we can do. Because of course, NCAA tournament is always our goal. So I think we're very excited to get there.
Well, they call it March Madness for a reason, man. You can get to the postseason and really make things happen. It's been a lot of fun this season. Keep up the good work. You're developing. I see you coming.
Yeah.
And you got some great basketball ahead of them.
Right.
Lawson Lovering for the Buffaloes, the sophomore out of Cheyenne, Wyoming. Buffs come off the sweep to the LA schools. Get ready now for Utah coming in next Saturday here at the Event Center. We'll take a time out of the Buffalo Stampede. We're talking women's basketball coming up next.
This afternoon, right inside early and feed the machine. Aaronette just turns and shoots. She's wide open. Why not? And all season long, she did a nice job in double overtime against Stanford of playing solid.
There's some highlight of the Colorado Buffaloes. What a senior day as they blow out the Cal Golden Bears in the season finale here at the CU Event Center. Back in the Stampede, voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. She had a big game against the Golden Bears. In fact, 27 points. Aaronette Vonleh joining us here for a couple of minutes. First, let's go back. I was talking about the tough one first. The game on Thursday against Stanford. That was a game. Double overtime. I'm here. I'm sitting on the edge of my seat up here in the stands watching you guys. I thought you were so close to pulling it off. Disappointing outcome in that one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was a really hard-fought game. It was close the whole time. I mean, we started pretty strong, but we just couldn't finish it out in the end.
You know, it's amazing in games like that the margin for error is so thin, right?
Yes.
It comes down to a rebound, a free throw, whatever it might be. And that's a difference in games like that, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you look back and you're like, dang, if would have just made that layup or got that rebound, but can't dwell on it for too long.
You know, first time we've had you on the program, she's from the Portland area, started out in Arizona. You're now at Colorado Buffalo after 1 year down in Tucson. How did that happen? How'd you get here?
Well, coming out of high school, I couldn't take any visits, so kind of just ended up at Arizona based off coaches, didn't really know the team.
Because that was because of the COVID thing, right?
Yeah. And then it just wasn't the right fit, so I went in the transfer portal. Colorado was actually my second choice out of high school, so I already knew the staff, so it was a pretty easy decision.
Yeah, there's quite a culture around this team, isn't there? I mean, that's one thing J.R. Payne's kind of created. It's a family atmosphere, is that fair to say?
It definitely is. I mean, we're all close-knit. We get along off the court, and so it helps us in games.
Tell us about the family you come from. I know you got a brother who played in the NBA for quite a while.
Yes.
You come from an athletic family? I mean, everyone athletes?
Yeah, my sister played D1 too, so
Okay.
we're all just kind of doing it.
All right, where'd she play?
University of Bridgeport.
Okay. And your brother, he's how many years older than you is he?
Like 8.
He's 8 years,
Yeah.
All right, at this point, you take him one-on-one. How's that matchup, Anna?
I'm definitely winning by a lot.
She's been a great addition to the Colorado Buffaloes. We're going to talk about that Cal game here in just a moment, but right now let's hear from the head coach, J.R. Payne.
Powered by Ford. Cars, trucks, and SUVs built for America. Built Ford proud.
I just would like to just start by saying how incredibly proud I am of every single member of our team and program. What anyone who watched this game saw on full display wasn't, a bunch of superstars. It was a team that's tough and gritty and fights and scraps for every single possession they have. And that's who we are. And unbelievably proud of our just ability to dig in, with less numbers, people playing tons of minutes, make big plays offensively, defensively. We've been saying all year we know we're pretty good. So this game really hurts, to lose a game like this to Stanford, but incredibly proud of how we played and how we competed.
There's a head coach, J.R. Payne, after the loss to a top 5 team at Stanford. Buffs then moved on to take on Cal here at the Event Center Senior Day. Well, that one turned out to be a little bit lopsided. You had a great game in that contest, career high 27 points. You were kind of feeling it for that ball game?
Yeah, I was pretty mad after Stanford, so I just wanted to use that energy to be successful.
Little bit of a change, I would think. Against Stanford, you're in battling with the 6'6", 6'7" players. A little bit of a size advantage against Cal, right? And it turns out to be a different kind of approach, I would think, in a game like that.
Yeah, I mean, with Stanford, for like the post, they're just really big, so you have to like pump fake, kind of try to use your speed more. With Cal, it's more about physicality, just being stronger.
Yeah. It's senior day. You want to win for that senior, right? Tayana, your final game here. That's kind of a nice deal, right?
Yeah, I mean, she means a lot to our team, so we definitely wanted to finish strong for her.
Where this team is at right now, as good as you guys have been, you've been in the top 25 now for the last month or so. You're the number 3 seed going to the Pac-12 tournament. Is this a confident basketball team? You feel playing its best basketball right now?
For sure. I mean, it's been a long season. We've had ups and downs, but we just built on all the downs. So we're really ready to get into March and kind of show our best basketball.
And I'd have to think, you're heading to Vegas, and then you fear nobody. I mean, I think you guys have proven you can play with anybody in the country at this point, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have the mentality that we can beat anybody that we play against, so that'll definitely help us.
Kind of nice having that first round bye. You got to play the late game now on Thursday. That's a late one at 9:30 Mountain Time, but kind of nice having the first round bye, isn't it?
It is nice to just have a day to kind of get situated.
Well, it's going to be the Pac-12 conference tournament, then of course the NCAA, and that's a foregone conclusion at this point in time. What changes this time of year, do you think? I mean, does the intensity of games change? How you guys approach things? Does that change when you're getting into postseason?
I mean, for sure. Just like there's a smaller margin of error. I mean, you're playing one game, and if you lose, you're kind of done. So everything matters.
Yeah, just win in advance. That's the hope for every team when it comes to March. Aronette Vonleh is going to be a great Buffalo for the next number of years, but let's hope she has a great postseason for the Buffs. They'll be in the Pac-12 Conference Tournament, 3 seed taking on the winner of USC and Oregon Thursday night at 9:30 Mountain Time. Coming up next in Stampede, we're talking lacrosse and Elliott Whidden coming up next.
Offensive Player of the Week. Rudy spins, and there it is on cue. Charlie Rudy.
Well, the lacrosse season is underway for the Colorado Buffaloes. There's some highlights from a 9-8 home opening loss as they fell to rival DU. Back here in the Buffalo Stampede, voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson and Elliott Whidden, the head coach for the lacrosse team. We come from in the locker room. We don't get a chance to see this thing very often. I mean, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, here it is.
This is like getting behind the scenes here.
It is as behind the scenes as we can get right here, for sure.
You know, one thing that we've done here great at the University of Colorado from a facility standpoint is make these locker rooms very, here we see some of the players sitting out in front of us. They're in the recliners. They're watching TV. I mean, it's a great place for the student athletes to come and hang out a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Great place for us. Easy, convenient to all the things we use, our field, film, the training room. So it's awesome to have this facility for sure. Yeah,
and nice job here at the CU Event Center for a lot of the sports. All right, let's kind of get into the season. Here you sit at 0-3. Kind of give us your temperature gauge. I know you're not happy about being on 3, but kind of give us your sense of things at this point.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think anyone, starts out thinking this will be the exact path, 0-3. We've played some good opponents and some good teams, and we've been close. I think we believe in this team a lot. We believe in our players, and we just got to keep chipping away. We think it'll fall in our direction soon if we keep working hard, and we just have to be more ready for these little moments, especially against Vanderbilt and DU. We had many opportunities to win those games, and we just fell a little bit short in those moments, and I think we've been practicing hard, getting ready to make sure the next time.
After the match against DU, again, the Buffs lost 9-8 now. You made some comments about mindset, about mentality, about kind of having an edge. Kind of talk to that point.
Yeah, definitely. I think it all comes back to, again, these moments that we have where we know we can win and get it done. And we just have to have more of that belief in ourselves, more of that mindset, though, to take over and step up in those moments and be prepared for them. It's really about competing for us, and we've been working hard at that since that DU loss. That one hurt a little bit because we felt like we were right there and that we could have, at the end, things were going our way and we could have got it done. We just didn't.
I think of that great old line that Bill McCarty said years ago, everyone talks about here, right? The mentals to physicals, 4-1. Is that a little bit what your team's dealing with?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah? I've not heard that before, but I think, right. For sure. I think the mental side is definitely a component for us. and one that we have to continue to work on and focus on. And when that clicks for us along with everything else, you know, we have a lot of potential on this team to be a great force on all ends of the field, and that's exciting.
You know, with your season just getting underway, it's the first time we've had you here on the show. Kind of give us, I know you've got an interesting roster. You've got some veteran players, but you got what, 8, 9 freshmen on this team?
Yeah, I think we have 10 new faces, including 1 transfer, and our 9 freshmen. You know, we have a decent amount of players returning. I think we lost most of our defense outside of a couple. So, you know, we're kind of young and old in different ways. I think this team has a lot of experience, though. We've been playing, you know, well, just not well enough, and we just got to get that experience. One game's got to count for 1 year right now, basically, yeah. I think, as we go. But it's a great team, very competitive in practice. We just have to translate it to the game.
With that many first-year players on this team, do you have to rely upon many of them, do you think, this season?
I think we definitely have a few that we're relying on in different spots. We're relying on all of them in practice to compete. I think, you know, what they bring to practice, that competitiveness, that edge, you know, every day, even when we're playing ourselves, we're playing a great opponent, and I think that's really key for us.
Yeah. Okay, you got Michigan coming up. Okay, yeah, this easy slate you've laid out. Who made the schedule, by the way?
Yeah, exactly.
Would that be you? You got Vanderbilt, you got Louisville, you got DU, and now you got Michigan coming up. So you got a big program coming in here on Friday. Here in town.
Yeah, Michigan's a really good team. They've had a lot of success. Obviously, a great coaching staff. Hannah, who's the head coach, coached here with me, and I played with her at Northwestern. So a lot of respect there. We know they're going to be really prepared. They also have started off with a great hard schedule. So I think in terms of that, we've both faced some good competition and we'll be prepared for the moment. And for us, it's just going to be about competing for 60 minutes. We know we'll have a chance. We know we can compete at that level with them and with every team on our schedule. So we just got to come out from the start.
All right. Well, again, that match is coming up on Friday at 3 o'clock here in town. The Buffs and the Wolverines. Coach, good luck.
Thank you.
Coming up next here in the Stampede, we're going to talk a little football. We'll introduce you to the new offensive coordinator on Coach Prime's staff, Sean Lewis. Back in a minute. Shedeur Sanders, everyone looking forward to what he's going to do for the Colorado Buffaloes once the season gets underway in September of 2023. Back in the Buffalo Stampede, voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. You know, spring ball is right around the corner for Coach Prime and the football team, and we thought we would sit down with the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach for the Buffaloes, Sean Lewis, and talk about the upcoming spring practices.
All right, here we go. Give me 2 claps real quick. Woo! Good. Hey, listen. All right, so we're going to start doing this every single Monday, okay? Have a little mindset training. You don't have the right mindset, the skill set don't matter. Y'all understand that? So each Monday, as we're cranking up and ramping up here to spring ball, we got to get our minds right.
Joining us now, the offensive coordinator for the Colorado Buffaloes, Sean Lewis. His spring ball is just around the corner. As you and I stand here, it's about 3 weeks away, roughly. You kind of chomping at the bit?
Yeah, I am. Absolutely. To get on the field, and, you know, we've been doing some lifting and running, which is much needed. But, yeah, excited to do ball.
So you come into a situation like this. You're bringing in a new system, right? That's got to be implemented. Right now, what does that mean? And obviously, when you get on the field, come spring ball, then it's getting real. But what's that now?
So right now, we get to give the guys a little bit of a taste, right? So we're in an 8-hour work week, and we can only spend so much of that with football right now. So, you know, we're taking some time on Mondays to do this kind of like mindset training so that we're all on the same page. When we say things, when we say certain words, that we're thinking about them the exact same way so that there's no gray and we can go execute the right way with it. And then obviously doing all the nuances that come with the X's and O's, learning the new terminology, alignments, assignments, execution, that sort of stuff.
You know, I think a lot of times fans think, well, coaching, they're going to teach them, okay, you run this route, they're going to throw it here and that kind of thing. There's so much of a psychological aspect of this, right?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you got to be Bill Belichick and sometimes you got to be Dr. Phil, right?
Correct. Yeah, you wear many caps, right? You wear many caps, and again, just getting the guys to know and understand what winning requires, right? To establish that culture of winning that we are going to do, you have to be very, very clear in what it takes to win and kind of where those friction points are going to come and how we're going to break through those so that we can get to the other side and be great.
Has that always been an aspect of coaching, or has it become more important in the last, say, 20 years?
I think it's become more and more important as we continue to go, and I think as you know, as the generation becomes more and more informed, they want to know why. When I was playing, you know, Coach Alvarez could just tell me, "Hey, here's what to do. Go do it." And you said, "Yes, sir," and you went and you did it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying one's right or wrong, but now we have a generation of young people that we are instructed to lead that are so well informed that they want to know, well, why are we doing it this way? Sure. And you know, if you don't have a great reason for why you're doing it, well, you need to reassess that.
You know, anytime you come to a new program, it's got to be kind of exciting because you're building something new.
Yeah.
This is unique because of where the program was. Coach Prime brings a unique characteristic to all of this, obviously. You guys are turning the roster over. I mean, this is like a new build you guys are doing right now. That's got to be exciting.
It really is, right? And that was part of the uniqueness of this opportunity, the uniqueness of the challenge, and why I kind of, gnawed at it and jumped at it, because it was one of those things that was going to be so unique amongst college football, and this very special opportunity to start with a clean slate and go.
And I know Buff fans, obviously, they've paid attention to what you did at Kent State. And so everyone's going, what's the Colorado offense? Don't spill the beans here, but can you let's give us a sense, a little taste?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a unit that's going to be disciplined, right? We got to control the controllables. And to give ourselves a chance to win offensively, we can't beat ourselves, right? We want to be physical at the line of scrimmage, and then the fans can look forward to seeing a lot of down the field vertical shots that we're going to capitalize on.
We like that.
Yep.
You hear coaches all the time talk about using the altitude to their advantage. Is that a truism?
I think so. I mean, shoot, I can't get through a workout without sucking wind myself, right? So I think that's something that could be a great home field advantage to us. Obviously, since we're training at it, we need to use it to our advantage.
Yeah. I know we got Shedeur Sanders here, obviously. He's a very talented young man. But just kind of broad strokes here, generally speaking, what do you look for in a quarterback?
I think the character component of it is huge, right? They got to be a competitor, they got to be a leader, and they got to have some smarts about them. And then their emotional IQ, I think, is something that's really critically important as well. Like, you want a guy that's not too high, not too low, that through the good times and the bad, right, that he's able to stay very, very even kill. Then from a physical standpoint, you need a guy who's accurate. You need a guy who can touch all the different spots on the field that we're going to throw to. And then again, be able to process, and how they see things. What's the pre-snap read versus post-snap reality in that, 4 to 6 seconds where I got guys that are trying to come get me, and not in a very nice way, right?
Yep.
Make good, clean decisions and be accurate with the football.
When spring practice gets underway on March, 19th, I guess is the starting date of that. Are these guys drinking out of a fire hose? Are you spoon feed them? How do you get that process?
I think right now that they're drinking out of a fire hose, right? And part of that is because of the time restrictions that we have with them and everything. But it'll slow down. But there's an initial uptake that is intense. But then they'll kind of hit a plateau where, okay, they'll kind of start seeing the light, and they'll see how this all fits together. And okay, this goes with this bucket, and this is same as this, and they'll be able to process a little bit better.
With all the new talent that's been brought out, you got some new toys to play with? You feel like you're kind of getting...
Yeah, I mean, it's all new, right? I mean, just from moving the family and learning the way around, new players. Yeah, it's, there's not a whole lot of mornings where I'm hitting the snooze button. It's good to come to work and get to work.
Lastly here, this staff that Prime has put together.
Yeah.
It seems like, as I see you guys, it seems like there's great energy there. You like that? You got any offenses on the ball?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Right, we got guys that I think it's a great combination of wisdom with youthful energy and everything in between, to where we're able to feed off one another and bounce ideas off one another. And all of our journeys have come from different paths, to where we have different perspective, right? So we can, hey, from my vantage point right now with this, here's what I see. How do we think we can do this better? And that's been really fun in the offensive staff room, taking kind of some of the things that we did, making our own here, and how this is going to come and be, our Buff version of what we're doing.
Well, you got me excited. Everybody else excited for spring ball. Can't wait.
Excellent.
I appreciate it. There's your offensive coordinator, Sean Lewis. There's the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach for the Buffaloes, Sean Lewis, getting ready for spring ball. That gets underway, by the way, March 19th with spring practice. The spring game, April 22nd, could be nationally televised on ESPN. We're going to have it on the Colorado Football Network as well. Get your tickets, by the way. They are selling out. Could we possibly have a sellout for a spring game here at CU? Go to CUBuffs.com to get those tickets. As we put a wrap this week on the Buffalo Stampede, I'm voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. We'll talk to you next time.